Hart here. In my last pregnancy video, I talked a lot about how to have a painless contraction. And so in this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about how Pitocin affects your contractions. Oh, Pitocin. So my goal with the last pregnancy was to have a natural home birth. And thankfully, I labored at home with the midwife for most of my labor, which was absolutely awesome. I did get transferred to the hospital after about, maybe about 20 hours of labor. We did transfer because my water had been broken for over 10 hours, and it's kind of the unspoken rule in Georgia is that you would transfer to the hospital after that, just to make sure that you deliver the baby in a timely fashion. So when I got to the hospital, they did recommend Pitocin, which certainly made me very nervous because I know that in a lot of cases, Pitocin leads to an epidural and an epidural leads to a C-section. And I absolutely did not want a C-section. I wanted to be fully aware, fully awake, and fully alive when my baby came out of me, and I wanted to experience it. The experience of birthing her through the proper birth canal instead of having to go through major surgery to get her here. So I agreed to the Pitocin, and when I felt that first contraction on Pitocin, oh my God. So in my last video, I explained how a natural contraction feels like a wave. It comes in very slowly, it goes up, it reaches its peak, and then it slowly comes back down and goes away. So you're only experiencing about 10 seconds of really intense expansion in your abdomen and your womb area. Pitocin is not like that at all. A contraction when you're on Pitocin is more like it just starts. It's like boom, 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 boom. So it's like constant intensity. There's no wave, there's no gradual wave-like movement of the contraction coming in. There's no preparation. It's just like peaks of pain. And it doesn't gradually fade away. It's just peaks of pain, peaks of pain, peaks of pain, and then it stops. It was like the worst feeling that I've ever experienced. So I did get some painkillers. The nurse assured me that if I didn't get an epidural, that nothing else was going to work. So she gave me the painkiller, even though she said that it wasn't going to have any effect on me. And she was partly right. It did numb out the contractions for maybe 30 minutes to an hour, but that was about it. So I think that's just something to keep in mind when you are thinking about the interventions that you could possibly have when you go into labor, and when you consider a hospital birth versus birthing with like a midwife or at a birthing center or even at home. Those Pitocin contractions are just much, much more intense. And, I just thought I would share that with you because I think you should be prepared. And there could be some breathing exercises that may help with that. You may have to refer to like a doula or a midwife to find out. But I know for me, Pitocin definitely makes the contractions a lot worse, or makes them a lot more intense. So to try to give birth without needing Pitocin is like my number one recommendation. The funny thing is, I was given the Pitocin, and then later on, my mom showed up for the labor. She lives in a completely different city than me. She showed up she finally got to me. She finally flew in and made it to the hospital. And it was like as soon as I saw her, my body was ready to give birth. So you want to make sure that you have all the conditions ready to have birth. That's probably what's going to help you avoid having to be induced or get Pitocin. Make sure you have a calm environment. That was another thing that I don't think I necessarily had. I was at home, but I think I had one too many people at the house. So it probably, looking back on it, probably should have been myself and my husband But I had a lot more people at the house. I don't know. I don't know. You definitely want a calming environment. You want to reduce fear as much as you can. And you want to create an environment where you feel empowered and not where you feel afraid. And I think those are the things that really help to prevent the need for Pitocin. So avoid Pitocin at all costs. I know sometimes it's necessary, but if it's not necessary, don't get it.